You ever hold a rifle so old, it probably remembers more presidents than you do one that smells like gun oil, campfire smoke, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of your grandfather's sweat. That's the kind of gun we're talking about today. This isn't about what's new, it's about what refuses to die. Rifles that have been around long enough to raise a family, survive 3 recessions, and still hit bullseyes like it's 1965. Some of them were passed down through generations. Others were built so solid they just won't quit. They don't need red dots or rails. They need a box of 22s, a backyard, and a few empty cans. And before someone cries foul, yes, we're counting guns that aren't in production anymore. Because some rifles outlive their factory lines. The ones here, they were either built a long time ago to last forever, or built recently with the DNA of something that already has. So whether you're into lever actions with wood stocks or semi-autos that refuse to jam, stick around. We're counting down the top 10 rimfire rifles chambered in 22 long rifles that simply won't go quietly. No gimmicks, just grit, steel, and a trigger that still works after 10,000 rounds. Few rimfires do more with less than the Remington 552. It feeds 3 types of 22, carries 15 rounds, and survives backyard abuse with a shrug and a tired smile. Picture an ash-stained toolbox, a dented cleaning rod, and a walnut stock resting on an oil-stained blanket. This rifle looks ordinary until you realize everybody in the neighborhood owns one still. Its simple blowback action and tubular magazine keep things straightforward. Dependable cycling, easy takedown for cleaning, and a barrel length that balances accuracy with handling so it serves for plinking, small game, and teaching new shooters. Without fuss or fanfare, pros include an approachable trigger, roomy magazine capacity, and parts that are still available. Cons or older examples may have worn extractors or cosmetic rust, and accuracy won't match a match-grade bolt gun. But reliability for casual shooting is remarkably high. Maintenance is simple, and ammo is cheap too. If you want a low-stress shooter for teaching, camping, or endless backyard plinking, prioritize a solid example with fresh extractors. It's ideal for families, beginners, and anyone who values uptime over flash and longevity too. If John Wick needed a rimfire under his tux, he'd pick the 552. Quiet, unassuming, and reliable enough to survive a movie montage and 3 seasons of neglect. Still, Unshakable 54, action. Imagine a hush in an indoor range, breath held, a tiny paper target shivering under a match bullet. The Unshakable 54 sits on a sandbag, steel and walnut singing with surgical calm. Every adjustment an argument in favor of precision. Born from German match traditions in the mid-20th century, the 54 action became shorthand for relentless accuracy in small-bore competition and helped define international target standards throughout the decades worldwide. Typically a heavy-barrel bolt action with exquisite bedding, match triggers, and chambered for 22 LR. Its components prioritize rigidity and harmonic stability over weight savings to maximize point-of-impact consistency period. On the line, it rewards discipline astonishingly repeatable groups, a trigger that can be set featherlight without creep, and barrels that keep their edge. Downside is expense, specialized ammo desire, and a learning curve that punishes sloppy fundamentals and demands attention to fit and setup. Compared to budget bolt actions, it's in another hemisphere, where lesser rifles aim to be affordable. The Unshakable aims to be invisible in its imperfections, and it usually succeeds. Period. Owning one is less about bragging rights and more about joining an unspoken club of people who care how a rifle feels when you pick it up. It rewards patience, maintenance, and an appetite for getting picky about group sizes. Underestimate the Savage Mark II at your own peril. It arrives modestly priced and leaves target paper looking confused. This bolt-action rimfire was never built for glamour, but for usefulness, and it accomplishes that mission with stubborn competence. Short version ACU trigger, solid barrels, and a chassis that tolerates a beating. It is straightforward to clean and forgiving to new shooters learning maintenance basics even in damp, messy conditions reliably. Buyers like the Mark II because it bridges entry level and performance. Configurations include synthetic stocks for field work or wood for a nicer feel, detachable magazines, and heavy barrel variants for tighter groups. The ACU trigger allows a crisp, adjustable break without sacrificing safety. So beginners learn control while experienced shooters can tune for better zeros. In practice, the Mark II behaves predictably. It eats bulk 22, pairs well with modest optics, and rarely surprises with a catastrophic failure. Drawbacks exist. Cheap magazines can wear. Some budget models have mediocre sights, and strict match shooters will still prefer dedicated target bolts. For most shooters, though, its practicality, ease of maintenance, and price make it a rifle that earns a spot on truck racks and range benches. If you want a rifle that grows with your skill without breaking the bank, Savage's Mark II quietly refuses to be forgotten. The Winchester 9422 wears its ancestry like a stubborn grandfather in suspenders old-fashioned, oddly comforting, and still useful. It blends classic lever-action roots with refinements that make it easier to own and shoot today, which is why many who like traditional rifles reach for one when they want reliability and a touch of heritage. Mechanically, it's a lever-action rimfire with a tube magazine and a modern take on Winchester ergonomics. Barrels are tuned for practical accuracy. Finishes resist everyday weather better than many vintage counterparts. And the action cycles with the smoothness born of decades of refinement. In short, it feels familiar, but corrected in the ways shooters appreciate. On the range, the 9422 behaves like a polite companion. It feeds cleanly with common 22 loads, offers comfortable handling for woods work or small game hunts, and accepts basic scopes without drama. It won't win bench rest contests, but it will spoil a morning beagle hunt and keep kids entertained at the farm. Collectors may scoff that it lacks long provenance, but owners value how it keeps Winchester spirit alive without demanding a museum. Practical, handsome, and refreshingly straightforward too. If you want a rifle that looks right among veterans yet handles like something built for today, the 9422 is the cowboy in a modern world. This is the 22 you didn't plan to love, but somehow it's always there, on a shelf, under a bench seat, or leaning in the corner of a garage workshop. The Marlin Model 60 didn't get famous for exclusivity. It earned its reputation the hard way by being everywhere and still working. With over 11 million units sold, this semi-automatic rifle is arguably the most common rimfire in American homes. It uses a 14-round tubular magazine, a micro-groove barrel that delivers surprisingly tight groups, and a simple blowback action that just doesn't quit unless you forget to clean it for 5 years. It's not flashy, but that's never been the point. It cycles bulk ammo well enough, hits tin cans all day, and makes a perfect starter rifle or knock-around farm gun. It doesn't ask for attention, it just works. That said, the trigger can feel spongy, and the loading gate can be tedious compared to detachable mags. But again, it's not trying to impress match shooters. If America had to pick a national plinking rifle, this would be it. It's simple, common, and just refuses to go away. Odds are, if you dig through your uncle's garage, you'll find one. It might be rusty. It'll still shoot. Out on the porch, with a coffee can full of 22 shorts and a squirrel twitching in the distance. That's where the Remington Model 121 belongs. It's not just a rifle, it's a family tradition with a pump handle and a tube mag, usually found behind a screen door or in the corner of a shed. Produced from 1936 to 1954, the Model 121 was built for kids learning to shoot and adults who never stopped. It's a takedown pump action chambered for 22 short, long rifle, with a slick cycling feel that newer designs still struggle to match. With its walnut stock and blued steel, it's as much a piece of Americana as it is a firearm. It feeds reliably, points naturally, and seems genetically incapable of being discarded. Most have scratches, dents, or initials carved into the wood, and that just adds to the charm. It's not a collector's item in mint condition. It's a storyteller. You won't find one at every gun store, but if you see one, grab it. It's the kind of rifle you hand to your kid after saying, "This one's been in the family a while." You're not just giving them a gun. You're giving them a slice of someone's past that still runs smooth. Octagon barrel. Pump-action slam fire. Takedown design. That's the Winchester model. 62 in 3 punches. Originally designed for plinking and carnival galleries, this rifle somehow made its way into barns, trucks, and family closets across the country, and never left. Built between 1932 and 1958, the Model 62 chambers, 22 short, long rifle, cycling them all with a satisfying slide of the forend and a mechanical snap that still feels sharp. It holds 20-plus rounds of 22 short in its tubular mag, making it one of the most fun rifles to shoot, especially when rapid fire was still legal. and encouraged. Accuracy is respectable, but the joy here is in the motion. It runs smooth, feeds anything, and breaks down with one screw. It's a rifle that doesn't just shoot, it performs. Sure, some parts wear with age, and scopes weren't in the equation. But this wasn't built for bench rests. Collectors keep Model 62S in safes. Shooters keep them by the door. Either way, they still function after 70-plus years, and that's no small feat. This rifle isn't just refusing to die. It's still out there running range days and rodent patrol with a grin. And if yours is scratched up, good. That means it's been used right. Walk into any gun store, and you'll see it. The parts wall, stocks, barrels, triggers, magazines, scopes. That aftermarket explosion? It's all because of the Ruger 1022. Introduced in 1964, the 1022 is the most modifiable rimfire on the planet, semi-automatic, 10-round rotary mag, blowback action. It's reliable, lightweight, and eats 22 LR with minimal complaints. From takedown models to tactical builds, it adapts to whatever job you need it to do. Straight from the box, it's accurate enough, but bolt on a new barrel, drop in a better trigger, swap the stock, and you've got a custom shooter built just how you want it. That's the 1022 secret. It's not one rifle. It's a platform. You'll find it in hunting packs, bug-out bags, and the hands of kids learning the ropes. It runs dirty, cleans easy, and rarely gives you attitude. Some say it's too common to be special, but that's the point. It's everywhere, because it works. Want a rifle that's never out of style, never out of parts, and never out of use. Get a 1022. Build it, beat it up, rebuild it, repeat. Most guns retire when they're worn down. The 1022 just gets upgrades. Pick it up, and you'll know the weight, the balance, the way that walnut stock fits your shoulder like it remembers you from last season. This isn't a rimfire. It's a gentleman's rifle, designed by John Browning in 1914 and still in production. The SA-22 has outlived most of its critics and at least 2 world wars. It's a takedown semi-auto with a tubular magazine cleverly tucked into the buttstock and a bottom eject design that keeps brass out of your face and charm in your hands. Smooth cycling, dead simple internals, and machining that feels more like watchmaking than mass production. This isn't your truck gun. It's your I know what I'm doing gun. It's elegant, fast, and accurate enough for squirrels or steel. You'll hesitate to scratch it, then take it to the field anyway. The only con, you'll start talking about wood grain like it's a personality trait. Some rifles get handed down. This one gets admired. If you've got one, congratulations. If you don't, start saving. Because once you shoot it, plastic stocks will feel like cheating. And if James Bond ever went varmint hunting, bet your bottom dollar this is what he'd take. Suppressed, polished, and with style so sharp it could shave your father's mustache clean off. You want longevity. Try a rifle design that traces back to 1891. The Marlin Model. 39A didn't just refuse to die. It never even flinched. Lever action, takedown. 22 short, long, and long rifle check. Passed down through more generations than Thanksgiving recipes double check. Built like a bank vault with a walnut stock and deep bluing that still shines under barn dust. The 39A is both workhorse and wall hanger. It shoots smooth, cycles clean, and strips down with a coin. Literally, a coin. Try doing that with your modern Tactical 22. Accuracy, better than it has any right to be. Reliability, field proven. It doesn't care about ammo brands, the weather, or how long it's been sitting under Granddad's bed wrapped in an old quilt. Pull it out, wipe it down, and it's ready to go. Every single time. The only downside, they stopped regular production years ago. But if you find one, buy it. If you inherit one, never sell it. And if someone offers to trade theirs for a brand new rifle in the box, thank them politely and walk away laughing. Some guns are gear, this one's bloodline. When you hold a 39A, you're not just holding a rifle. You're holding someone's Saturday morning from 1954 and it still runs. At the end of the day, these rifles prove a simple truth: craftsmanship, common sense, and a reluctance to be trendy outlast flashy gimmicks. They kept working when factories closed, when fashions changed, and when collectors argued about patina. Whether it's a lever gun that taught generations to hunt, a match rifle that demands respect, or a cheap bolt that taught you to shoot straight. Each one earned its place by surviving use, abuse, and neglect. Tell us which of these you defend with your life, or which rusting heirloom you rescued from a barn. Share corrections and local favorites in the comments. We read them. If you like the grit in history, hit like and subscribe for more lists that value grit over hype. Until next time, clean your guns, keep your spares dry, and remember, some things aren't built to be fashionable. They're built to last.